Hey, folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me today. The rumor mill keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning for Bray Wyatt. Is he going to AEW? Is he going to Impact Wrestling? Is he going somewhere else? This is the latest on Bray Wyatt. The latest on Bray Wyatt is he's not expected to sign with AEW. So I'm going to read this here. It says, during today's Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez said that he does not believe that former WWE star Bray Wyatt will be signing with AEW. Earlier today, Dave Meltzer said that Wyatt is not likely to appear tonight on AEW Dynamite. There was a rumor. I even did a podcast on the rumor that he might be showing up on AEW Dynamite tonight. It's going to be in Rochester, New York, Brody Lee's hometown. But apparently, Bray Wyatt is not likely to appear tonight. So Alvarez said the following on Wrestling Observer. Brian Alvarez said the following on Wrestling Observer Live. As far as the former Bray Wyatt goes, I mentioned weeks ago that I do not believe that the former Bray Wyatt is going to AEW. If you ask me, this is not confirmed because nothing is confirmed until somebody signs somewhere. Obviously, Brian Alvarez. The impression I have is it is more likely that he is going to Impact Wrestling. But here's the deal. Anything's possible. I believe 100% that when we do the show tomorrow, I will alert you that he was not on AEW because like 99% believe that he's not going to be on the show tonight talking about AEW. He talks about Brody Lee a little bit. And then he goes down here. Another name that seems to be likely to sign with Impact is Braun Strowman. Scott D'Amore hinted a couple weeks ago that Strowman might be headed to Impact. If Wyatt and Strowman are signed, that it would make sense to hold off their debut until Bound for Glory in Las Vegas. If Impact Wrestling, and I know past podcasts are saying, Louis, your his gut feeling was that he was Bray Wyatt was going to join AEW. He's going to be leader of the Dark Order. That was your gut feeling. Hey, I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I mean, if I'm wrong here, I'm wrong here. I'll be happy that I'm wrong here because I would love to see Bray Wyatt head on over to Impact Wrestling with Braun Strowman. Imagine Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman debuting at Bound for Glory. What if Josh Alexander? This is me, fantasy booking right now. Josh Alexander defeats Christian Cage for the Impact Wrestling World Title. Which is going to happen? The lights go out, and here comes Bray Wyatt with Braun Strowman, and they take out Josh Alexander, and the feud between Josh Alexander and Bray Wyatt begins. That would be just fantastic. And you have to think, why would he want to go to Impact Wrestling when he go to AEW? Well, why would he want to go to AEW when you think about it? What if he wants to have a lighter schedule? What if he doesn't want the schedule that's going to come with signing with AEW? What if he doesn't want to do a live show every week and go from town to town to town? What if he wants to go to Impact Wrestling? And with the lighter schedule, there's one set of tapings every month, 3 days. They do the set of tapings. They have a pay-per-view, and that's it. There'd be a much lighter schedule. I don't know if he'll be doing any indie shows or not, but if he wants to make a little extra money on the side, I'm sure his fee will be astronomical. I know Braun Strowman was charging $20,000. I'm sure Bray Wyatt would charge somewhere in the vicinity of $20,000. But Impact Wrestling, they have the money. They throw the money at Bray Wyatt. They throw the money at Braun Strowman. They sign both of them. And they come to Impact Wrestling and they're working a lighter schedule than they would if they sign with AEW. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe that's what Bray Wyatt wants. Maybe Bray Wyatt wants to be able to work, make a living, but then spend some time at home with the family. That could be very possible. So the gut feeling that I had that he was going to sign with AEW, it's still going to happen. I mean, who knows? We could be way off base and he shows up tonight on AEW Dynamite and everybody, everybody here is wrong. I'm wrong. Everybody here. Brian Alvarez is wrong. He could very well show up at AEW Dynamite tonight, but in all likelihood, he's not going to show up tonight. And it seems like Impact Wrestling has a solid shot at signing Bray Wyatt. I really, I was reading, it says here that AEW is not is probably going to pass. It's probably going to pass on Braun Strowman. So I'm expecting Braun Strowman at least to be signed. I know Buddy Murphy's coming over. I expect him to be signed by Impact Wrestling as well. But if they get Bray Wyatt, and Josh Alexander wins that title, and Bray Wyatt walks down the aisle with the my gosh, that would be just incredible. Or he could just cut a promo. Doesn't even have to be there. He just cuts a promo, one of his classic promos, and they just film it. They show it on the big screen. That's if Sam's Town has a big screen. That's I don't even know if Sam's Town has a big screen, but whatever. Maybe they could roll out they could roll out a few 13-inch TVs, and they could they could roll out a few 13-inch TVs, and they'll have an old VHS player, and they'll have a videotape that a VHS tape that Braun Strowman, that Bray Wyatt recorded his promo on. They can stick it into the all jokes aside, all jokes aside, I think it would be absolutely incredible if Impact Wrestling could bring in Bray Wyatt. And there's plenty of talent in Impact Wrestling for Bray Wyatt to feud with. The obvious choice is Sami Callihan, but unfortunately he's going to be out until 2022. But he'll be back. And I'm sure if Bray Wyatt does sign, we'll see a feud between the two down the road. That would be an epic feud. There's Eddie Edwards. There's Moose. There's plenty of talent in Impact Wrestling for Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman to feud with. So I'm thinking if they both come in, they're going to come in as a team. They're going to reunite as a team. I think it'll be fantastic. So as of right now, it does not seem Bray Wyatt is not expected. That's the latest. Bray Wyatt is not expected to sign with AEW. And all signs are pointing to Impact Wrestling. So keep our fingers crossed. Scott D'Amore, Impact Wrestling, and Nordholm. If I said his name wrong, I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry, Ed. But get that checkbook out. Get ready and get ready to write a check. Get ready to write a check to Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda. I think that's what he'll be going as. But bring him in. Let's bring in Bray Wyatt. Let's do it. Let's get it. I mean, we need Impact Wrestling needs to make a major splash, and this would be it 100% if they could bring in Bray Wyatt. Wow. And getting pumped just thinking about it. So we're going to leave it at that for now. That's the latest. Anything else breaks, I'll be back a little later to report on it. If not, I'll be back, of course, tomorrow. And until then, thank you very much for joining me today. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.